In today's tutorial, we are going to do a program that does mathematical calculations for us. So starting at the same point, go File, New Project, make sure you select Windows Form Application, and you give your program a proper name. Say OK. We'll wait for the program to create all the files for us. And then we will change our form to have the design we want. Before we do that, the first thing you should always do is click on Solution, File, Save Calculations As, make sure it's on your desktop, and Create Directory before Solutions is selected. So that as you make changes, you can just click Save from now on, and it will save everything. So we're going to start by placing buttons on our form today, which is new, and we're going to place 4 buttons on our form. Just going to spread them out. And to format them so that they fit nicely, if you select them all and go Format and Make Equal under Vertical, the spacing will all be the same. And then you can just line them up a little easier. The next thing we're going to do is drop labels down next to our buttons. And this is where the answer is going to go. Now that we have all that down, we'll click Save. Now we're going to name all of our components correctly. First thing you should rename is your form, because form1 is not a good name. Make sure you keep the .cs. And say yes, so that it gets renamed correctly. The next thing you should rename is the form itself. So remember, the 3-letter prefix for form is FRM. And then we're going to do all our buttons. The 3-letter prefix for a button is BTN. We're going to call it equation 1. Remember, no spaces, no special characters, so putting number sign 1 would not work properly and just give you errors. So make sure you follow the convention. Second one is going to be button 2, button 3, and button 4. Next thing we're going to name is our labels. 3-letter prefix for a label is LBL, and we're just going to match it, answer 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have everything named correctly now, so I'm just going to save again. Next thing we're going to do is change the names on our objects themselves, the text property. So we're going to start with the form, call it calculations, and now we're actually going to place the calculation in here as the text on the button that we're trying to figure out. Hopefully this looks familiar to you from math class. If you're using the TI Nspire, you'll remember that the little hat means to the exponent. And we'll do the next one. The slash means divide. The star means multiply. And the last one is just adding and subtracting. So now we have everything, all our buttons named. The next thing is we're going to name our labels. To start off with, we want the label to say nothing. So notice when we empty it completely, just this little box shows up, so you can still find it, but it's a little tricky sometimes. I'm just going to delete all them, and we're done. So once again, save. The next step is going to be actually to write our code. So when we click on this button, we want the answer to show up in our label next to it. So we're going to double click on this button. You'll notice that it places us right where we're going to be typing our code on the button 1 equation click event. But before we write any code to begin with, the first thing we should always place at the top of our code is our comment. So I'm just going to paste in my comment, so make sure you do that for every program. So back down to the equation, what we want is on this, which means the form, we have a label called answer1. It has a property text, and we want it to be assigned the equation that we have. So what we're going to do is just write the equation into our program and place a semicolon at the end. You'll notice that a little red squiggly shows up, which means the computer does not understand something. And if we place our cursor over it, you can read that the error is cannot implicitly convert type int to string, which means that we can't convert, once again, a number into a piece of string. So at the beginning, we're going to have to place the convert dot toString function again, and we place our answer, our equation inside brackets, and now hopefully everything works okay. So we're going to go back and do the same thing. So once again, on our form, this time we have a label answer2. It also has a property text, and we are going to write in our equation. Once again, we get the little red line, same error as above. So we're just going to copy this function and place it there. And it goes away. So we're going to go back, and our third button, once again, this label 3 has a property text, and we're going to try doing the convert to string at the beginning, since we know we need to do that. And everything goes okay. And our last one. And we're all done. So that's all our code. So we're going to click save, and when we run it, our program shows up, and when you click each button, it will give you the answer. There's only one problem. This answer is not correct. By the rules of BEDMAS, 2 to the exponent 3 should be 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, plus 5 is not 4. So 8 plus 5 is 13. So something has gone wrong here. The problem is that this is not 2 to the exponent 3 like we're used to. It's another type of calculation. So what we have to do is we have to use a mathematical function. So if you type in math, you'll see that there's a set of libraries, and you press dot, and it has all the mathematical libraries we're used to using. And one of them is called power, which returns a specified number raised to the power. So that's what we want to replace it with. So if we replace it with that function and run it again, hopefully this time we get 13 and our program works. And that's it for today.